Hi, this is Chelsea over here at the Ivy Journey, and today I'm going to be telling you our biggest financial decision. That was the worst financial decision that we ever made, and that is ours to get solar panels. So I'm going to tell you why we did it, kind of the process that we went through, and why it ended up being the worst financial decision that we have ever made. So everyone's going to be a little bit different. We do live in the state of Texas. So every company is going to be a little bit different. Every state's going to be a little bit different. But overall, I want you to know that I'm not completely saying that I think solar panels are not for everyone. But if you're thinking about getting solar panels, you need to know the truth about them, because there is like a big scam going on with them, and we were a part of that. So, we are currently living in Texas. We've lived in this house. We moved in this house July 19th, 2022. And before I dive into the solar panels, if you are moving to a new town, especially if this is the first time you've ever bought a house, first time home buyers, I need you to hear this. When you first move in, my biggest tip is to get a no soliciting sign and put it on your door, because within the first 2 months of you moving into your home, you're going to be flooded with people that are trying to sell you their business, which I know people need to get their business, but it's very overwhelming, especially when you just bought a house and everything that comes along with that. But you're going to get like people that are trying to sell you pest control, roofing companies, window companies, solar companies, internet companies, yard people. I mean, the list goes on. So all those people are going to be hounding you for your business. So anyways, we did not have one of those signs. We now do, because that's what happened to us. Both times that we have bought a house, all these people, water softeners, that's another one. So all these companies reach out to you, and they must get a list of people that have just moved in, so they can go and try to solicit their business. So in this case, this is what happened with the solar panels too. So we moved in July 19th, and then in August, almost exactly a month from the time that we moved into our house, is when we had somebody stop by and tell us about solar panels. So we honestly did not know that much about solar panels before we got them, other than just a few things that we had heard. We thought they would be really great for the economy. We thought that they would end up being cheaper than an electric bill. And again, I'm not completely knocking solar panels. I think they can be really great for certain people. I think they could be really great, especially if you have like an RV and you're trying to like live off, only, live out in the middle of nowhere, not be connected to any electric or anything like that. They can be really, really great. But in our case, there's certain things that you're told, and like you have to meet certain requirements for them. So anyways, what happened was we had this man come that works with this company, and came to our door, and he talked to us. We let him in our house. We talked to him for maybe 30 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour. I honestly don't know how long he was here, but he came and he was talking to us in person. He was telling us all about the solar panels, telling us all the great things. And also, I want to preface this before, because we had only lived in our house for a month. This is the middle of the summer. It's very, very hot in Texas. It gets over 100 degrees a lot of the days. So you're using a lot of electricity. And I was a part of a Facebook group that's for our local town. And I was seeing all kinds of people complaining about their electricity bills, saying that they're like $500, $600, $700, $800 for their electric bills, which at that point I had never paid over $250 for an electric bill, okay, for 1 month. And so I was like, this is outrageous. Like, there's no way that we're going to be able to afford electricity if like it's, over $500 a month. So it was really crazy. So that was a huge thing, and like made us like start looking into solar panels. And we also, when we moved into this house, we thought this would be like our forever home. We moved here after my husband got out of the military to be closer to family. And we thought that we would stay here until our kids like graduated high school, and then at least till then, so at least 10 years. So that's why I say forever in quotations, because we thought at least 10 years we'll be here. So we thought we would be here long term. fast forward, my mother-in-law passed away, and we really don't like the town that we live in. So it's a lot of things. So don't make really drastic decisions until like you have lived somewhere. At least I would say give anywhere a year for you to know your surroundings and all that before you just like make really big decisions like adding solar panels onto your house. So anyways, the guy came, he was talking to us, he's telling us all these great things about solar panels and how it works. And solar panels are very, very, very expensive. And it's really crazy to me now in hindsight thinking about, because when you buy a house, so you go through the process and you're not allowed to like buy any of these extra expenses. They really monitor your finances and all this stuff for like a month. Like you start the process of buying a house and you don't close for a month later, and there's a lot of things that you can and can't do during that time. But then with solar panels, he came and he was able to run like our credit check and everything and be like, okay, you're approved for it, and basically start the process immediately. And then in our contract, you have 3 days to where if you decide that you want to cancel, you can pull out. But if you don't do anything in those 3 days, you're locked in, and the whole process starts. They, come and put it on your roof, and then you're locked in. Like after those 3 days, you're locked in. And again, this can vary from place to place because each company is probably going to have a little bit different things that they have in their contract, but ours specifically said 3 days. So anyways, we thought we were making a really great decision, thinking we're going to be here long term. We thought that it was going to be much cheaper than our electricity bill with how crazy that was for everyone else around. And we really thought we were really making a really smart decision. So anyways, we go through this process, and while the guy is in our house, he's telling us that so with the contract of the solar panels, you have like the whole amount, the whole payment, or like the whole loan amount. And then he said you can get, for having solar panels, you can get a tax credit, this huge tax credit that can be anywhere from like $30,000 to $40,000. And what they want you to do is to take that money and put it on your solar panel, because then that obviously gives them the money and it makes your loan, your total loan amount go down. And then basically it just keeps your monthly payments the same. Because what happens, because I have my contract here, all these pages, this, right? Initially, our solar payments were $368 a month. But then after the first almost year and a half, then it's supposed to go up if you do not put that tax credit onto there. It's supposed to go up to $531. So if you don't do that, then your payment goes up. But if you put the tax credit on there, it just basically keeps it the same. So that's why they want you to do it. And also, this tax credit is a huge reason why we said yes to solar panels on top of the other things. And that is because we were like, hey, if we take this say we got $30,000 back for this tax credit, we're going to take that $30,000 and we're going to pay off all of our credit card debt, like all of these other like miscellaneous things, like we have like furniture payments and credit cards, like all this. We were like, we're just going to pay off all of that, because then we would be saving a lot more money monthly. Like we're not paying, if we had our credit cards paid off, we wouldn't be paying those monthly payments for the credit cards, right? And then we would, the $150 increase, or actually $200, it's almost $200, then that $200 increase in solar panel payment, like that would be fine, right? So we thought, again, we're making this really smart decision. We're going to take this money, pay off our credit cards, and it's okay if we are just paying $200 more a month for solar panels, right? So that was our plan. So again, we got our solar panels installed. I think it was like actually September when they actually finished. I'm not for sure, but we signed our contract in August, and this is back in 2022, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that. So we got our solar panels going underway, and so then when it came tax time, to do our taxes in January, February of the next year, I think I was doing I think I was just using like TurboTax and doing my taxes on my own at that point, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I went to go do my taxes, and then I wasn't really understanding the whole solar panel thing of how to like file and all this stuff. We didn't get this tax credit back on that time, and I thought, oh, it's probably just because, you know, we didn't get our solar panels until, you know, August, September of the year, which is like later in the year and all this. So I thought maybe we have to have them like a full year before we get it. So then we wait, we have them a whole nother year. And then so when it comes to do taxes again, I went and got like an actual tax professional and told her the situation, like, hey, we were told we're supposed to get this tax credit back. Not really sure, we didn't get it back last year, blah, 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 whatever, right? And she comes back to say, well, you don't qualify. I'm like, I was like, what? What do you mean we don't qualify? The guy that came into our house and told us this and made this seem so amazing, and this was like a huge reason why we said yes, like he said that we would get it, right? She's like, no, you don't qualify. And the reason we don't qualify is one, my husband is a retired vet, like through the Army, so his income for that does not count. So if you're like Social Security or a veteran, anything like that does not count. And then so when you look at my income, I am self-employed. I've been self-employed for almost 5 years now. And if you're self-employed, you have to make over $100,000 a year in order for your income to count for that tax credit. It's over 100,000. It could be over 125,000. I don't know the exact number. I can't remember, but I know it's over 100,000. I do not make that by myself. And so my income does not count. So neither one of our incomes count. So we do not get this tax credit at all whatsoever. We will never get it. We don't qualify. We were misguided, misled, lied to, however you want to say it. And so then that was a huge disappointment, because again, we had this plan that we thought was really smart. So we didn't get the tax credit. And then because we didn't get the tax credit, we couldn't put that towards the solar panels. We couldn't put that towards our credit cards, whatever. And then also after, let's see, when did our solar panel payment go up? So it jumped from $368 a month to $531 a month. And that happened in April of 2024. Okay. So now we're paying an extra $200 a month on our solar panels indefinitely. We're never going to get this solar credit like we were told. And also, there's this huge thing, like once you have them, you're stuck with them, because it's not like you can just stop paying them. If they come and take them off of our roof, we're responsible for the roof. And I don't know if you know this, but roofs are very expensive to replace. And so we're kind of like, we have to pay them. We don't want to pay them. We don't even want them. We no longer even want to live in this town. And then when it comes to like trying to sell your house, which this is another thing that I never even really thought about at the time, but if you have solar panels on your house, it's not that you can't sell your house, but the person that takes over your loan also has to take over that loan too. So it's another huge expense. And if you want to know the amount, because like saying this out loud like makes me want to throw up, and it's like so embarrassing and shocking and everything, but our solar panels, the amount financed was $129,000. Jesus Christ. Okay, so with that, and just thinking like our first house was like $145,000. Like this is almost the cost of a house just for solar panels. So if you're thinking like, if you're someone that's looking to buy a house, that's a huge difference in price point. So somebody could look at our house and be like, we love the house, we want to buy the house, but we can't afford to take over the house and the solar panel payment. So that is like a huge thing when you go to like sell your house. If you have solar panels, if they're paid off, it's fine, like they can just take over it. But if they're not paid off, they have to assume that they're going to take over that payment too. Most people are not going to want to do that. So that is a huge thing when it comes to like selling our house. So we basically feel stuck in this home because of the solar panels. If we didn't have the solar panels, we would at least be able to sell our house and basically just break even. But with them, it's not like that. So here we are stuck in this house that we don't want to be in. We have this extra payment, makes it much more difficult to sell the house, all these things. Also, I then, because of this, was like really curious, like how much are people paying for their just regular electricity bills, you know? So I actually made a post one day in like a local Facebook group, just like, can you please just tell me how much do you pay for electricity on average? And I don't know if it was just because when we first moved in, it was just like a really, really hot summer. I'm not really sure, but most people are paying anywhere from like $250 to $400 on average for their monthly electricity bills in this area. So we not only are stuck with these solar panels and have this, but we actually pay more a month, like quite a bit more than the average person does for just regular electricity. So that's just like the cherry on top. To like, yeah, we're paying more a month. We're stuck with them. We don't want them. Some, like, you know, it's all these things layered on top of each other. And so this is like very disappointing. I have like a lot of anger around this whole situation, a lot of anger, disappointment. So anyways, with all this going on, I was like, well, is there anything that we can do? Like, I've constantly been like, is there anything I can do to fix this situation? And now we're in 2026 and it's like, why are you just not bringing this up? But it's been slowly like me learning things as I go and being like, oh my God, like I had no idea, you know, and asking people and reaching out to different people that deal with solar panels and like all this type of stuff, and just getting a lot of input and really learning that we just got fucked over. We got fucked over. Because I even was like, okay, is there anything at all that I can do? And basically all that I could do was reach out to the company, because we work with two different companies, because there's like the company that actually has the solar panels, and then there's a company that finances them. So together, you know, they work together. And so I actually reached out to both of them. So I sent emails to both companies. This was in July of 2025, so just last year. And I sent them an email about misrepresentation. And I basically was like, hey, we got these solar panels. We were misrepresented with who spoke to us about them. Is there anything that we can do? Can we try to like lower our payments? Can, you know, anything be done, like filed with them? Just basically like help me. Help. And so I sent those emails in July. I didn't hear anything back for months. So then in September, so this was July, August, September, so 2 months, I didn't hear anything from either one of these companies. I thought that was plenty of time for them to reach back out, right? So since I didn't hear anything back, I then reached out to I filed claims with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's really hard for me to say. And then also the Better Business Bureau. So I filed claims with both of them in September. And it's so funny because literally waited 2 months when I like reached out to the companies directly, didn't hear anything for 2 months. But then I reported claims to those bureaus. Only a few days go by and they message me because they got a claim, because I guess one of the bureaus reached out to them and being like, hey, you need to reach out to them. So I got a message from our loan company just a few days later. They sent me an email saying like, hey, we got your report. We're going to be reaching out to you. And then I got a phone call. So they called me and they're basically like, hey, we got your claim, like what's going on? And so I quickly tell him like, hey, yeah, I'm really upset. We were lied to. We had this man come into our home, tell us that we're gonna, told us all about the solar panels and told us that we would get this tax credit. and that we would, we could use that to put it towards the solar panels, whatever. And lo and behold, we don't even qualify for them. And so I'm like, I'm really upset because, like, if we would have known that from the very beginning, if we would have known that we did not qualify for this tax credit, we wouldn't have got them, because that's one of the main reasons we got them. And so he's like, oh, okay. Just go ahead and send me over either an email or a text message. Like, send me some proof that he told you this. And I was like, I don't have proof. Because there was no text message, there was no email that directly said from this man that we qualified for this tax credit. He told it to us in person. And this is something that I never even thought, like, oh my God, I need to be like recording this conversation, or hey, can you send me a text message? Can you send me an email that that states like you're saying that we qualify for this tax credit? I didn't even think to do that, right? So there's no proof. It's just she said, he said, she said. And so I'm telling this guy, like, I don't have proof. Like, there was no email, there's no text message or whatever. Like, this was said in person. And he was like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do. Like, there's no proof of it. And like in our contract that you signed, it states that not everyone qualifies for the tax credit, and that you need to speak to a tax professional. And because you don't have proof, there's nothing we can do, and I'm going to close your case. And I was like, cool, which I knew that was going to happen. I knew there was really nothing at that point that we could do because we signed the contract, like fucking idiots. But I more was like, I just want you to know that, like, your people are going around and telling people this, and they're getting scammed. They're getting lied to. This is fucked up. This is like a crazy situation. And like, we're the ones that suffer. We're the ones that, like, this is our hard earned money that just is being flushed down the fucking toilet. And you need to know this because this is not right. And I'm not the first person that this has happened to. There's been many people, especially when it comes to like older people that are on like Social Security. They get them, and it's the same situation. Like, their income doesn't count, and they're being told that they're getting this huge tax credit, and then they don't. So it does happen. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. And then because we signed the contract, there's nothing we can do. And I do actually have this, because it does say, and how many of us, like, who's reading this word for word, before they sign a contract? Read your contracts. Talk to tax professionals, talk to other people. Don't be like us and just fucking jump head in before you have all of the facts, the details, because then you get screwed. So anyways, this is like, I'm going to read this paragraph here, because it does say, the tax credit is a federal tax credit borrowers apply for when filing for their income tax returns. Please reference page 6 of the loan agreement, which states you may be eligible for a federal solar investment tax credit. You acknowledge that eligibility for this tax credit is not guaranteed. Borrowers may use this tax credit to pay down the principal balance. However, it is not a requirement for the loan. GoodLeap is unable to determine if an amount for which borrowers may be eligible to receive. As reflected in the agreement, GoodLeap recommends borrowers speak with a tax advisor regarding their individual tax situations. So again, if that would have been said to me from the man that came to sell our solar panels to us, if he would have been like, hey, like, I'm actually not sure if you actually qualify, like, talk to somebody else, I would have been like, oh my God, like, thank you so much. I will definitely do that before signing a loan of over $100,000 that I am stuck for who knows how long. Yeah, that is huge, because again, that was like a main reason that we did it. And then to think, that these people go into your house and they tell you only the good about them. And I understand that this is their job and that they are trying to make money, and I'm sure he made a hell of a commission off of us. So good for him, good for his family, but also what an asshole, because you're benefiting and then you're also fucking over people at the same time. So it's really heartbreaking. It's very, very heartbreaking and disappointing. And yeah, so this has like been hard for me to say out loud, honestly, but I feel like I need to, because people need to know the truth. And again, I'm not like nobody should ever get solar panels, they're the devil. No, I think that they can be really great for certain people, but then they're not a good fit for a lot of people, and we are one of them. And we got misled, and there's nothing I can do about it. So if I could at least like inform somebody, like if you're thinking about solar panels, what I would tell you to do is ask around, ask a tax professional. Do you even qualify for this tax credit? How much is this, like, how much, look at your payments, like how much is it going to go up if you don't get this tax credit? Yeah, is this going to be an issue when you want to sell your house? Because again, like that's just something, like we thought we would be here for a really long time, and then after being here, and it's like we don't even want to live here, but we also can't sell our house in the moment. So it's a lot of factors. Just the fact that they are able to literally go into your house and have you sign a contract, after speaking to you for all of 30 minutes, just like really blows my mind now. I think it's so wrong on the company's side. I think that there should be more discussion. I think that there should be some type of like time, like when you go to buy a house, that like, okay, we're going through this process, and it's like, okay, you have a month to decide, like, is this really the right decision? Did you have time to talk to these people? Did you have time to ask other people? Did you have time to compare different companies? Like all these questions before you sign your document and are stuck with it, painfully stuck with it. So anyways, that is the gist of our biggest financial mistake we've ever made in our lives. Pains me every day. Pains me every month that I have to make a payment to them. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any insight, I don't know, just let me know. Any questions that I can help answer. If you have any insight, if you have a similar situation, please let me know. And I hope this was helpful. And thank you so much for watching.